bet my friend that I could become a genius.
And we are calling it iPhone.
And I've only got 30 days to make it happen. I mean, I need an IQ of 132. Like, how hard could that be?
Matt is an idiot.
In 30 days, I'm headed to Mensa. That's where I'm going to take an IQ test, designed to find gifted individuals to be part of an exclusive
There's
club.
something benevolent going on.
It's up to you what you want to write.
That is impossible.
He literally misspelled Mensa when writing this video.
This challenge is so unfathomably difficult. I don't know what they're asking me.
You don't just become a genius. And I'm here to remind him of that.
They don't know that I've got a plan. If I'm going to become a genius, I need to live like a genius. Okay, so we're a minute into the video and we've already got a massive problem. This was supposed to be a 30-day challenge, but as life does, life gets in the way. And now we've only got 7 days. So let's hope I've not left myself too much to do. So since we now know that we do not have very much time, let's get you caught up super duper quickly. Super duper. In 7 days' time, I'm headed to Mensa where I'm going to take a supervised IQ test. I've never taken an IQ test before. I don't know what my IQ is, and the goal is to get in the top 2%. That top 2% is circa 132. But what does 132 mean? The quick answer is, I don't really know. What I do know is that plotted on a graph, 2/3 of the population sit between here and here. For me to get into Mensa, I need to score here. But why am I doing this? Well, this is Joe. He's my housemate and also one of the brightest people that I know. Annoyingly, he also wants to take the test. So my goal is to beat him. What's going to cause me further annoyance is Joe's a PhD student. He studies, he reads things. He's just generally brighter than I am. So for the next 7 days, it's going to be my entire goal to score more points than this guy on an IQ test. But first, let's figure out a baseline. Okay, so I've just done my first 5 IQ tests. All 5 are from different websites. They all ask slightly different questions and they seem to index for different things, which I thought was really, really interesting. I don't know how well they translate to the real thing, if at all, but my scores weren't that scattered. It's quite refreshing to see that I'm not a complete moron. That was always a possibility coming into this. So now I've got 7 days to make up the difference and get to 132. It does feel like I've got a very, very long way to go. So how am I actually studying for this thing? Well, ChatGPT reckons that there are a few different types of stimulation that we need to figure out. The first of those is mental. So practice questions are obviously going to be the backbone of my studies. And I need to study the 5 different categories of IQ questions: verbal comprehension, visual spatial, fluid reasoning, working memory, and processing speed. So the research tells us that a small amount of practice can improve our score by 7 to 10 points. That's a massive uptick. There are tests for every category, but first we're going to nail verbal comprehension. The goal of each game is to improve reading speed and retention.
He can do as many kids games as he wants. He's not going to beat me on the day.
Since it's clear that I am obviously not a genius, we need a change of tact. I'm going to try out the daily routines of some really notable geniuses. I'm talking a businessman, a sportsman, and a scientist. I just can't think of anywhere better to start.
Messi! Whatever you need, a fireman! Messi's the man to call! Astonishing!
This day starts early, around 6 AM. The priorities are hydration, a bit of mental prep, some stretching, and then some breakfast. Breakfast is always the same kind of thing. Some combination of porridge, fruit, and a couple of eggs. This morning routine's really quite pleasant. It's not too early in the morning, and by the time I leave the house, I feel pretty relaxed, rested even. Then we're on to training. Speed, agility, sharpness.
It's not very flat, my ankles are a bit.
This was much less relaxing. After a shower, it's time for a nap.
That felt phenomenal.
Now for some lunch, some recovery, and a bit of time out. By the late afternoon, we're into a team prep session. Watching game footage, studying opponents, making plans. This is where I got my IQ test practice in. Just some time in front of a laptop. But the only reason I was doing any of this was to know if it made any difference to my performance. So I'm bad at staying off my phone, to the point where I'm averaging about 6.5 hours of screen time a day, most of which is nonsense. Hence the 3-month wait for this video. It's not exactly genius behaviour. But I'm taking charge, because there are numerous studies that link excessive screen time with lower IQ, performance, and recall. Meet Block, they're helping me make this video today. Block removes apps and websites physically, allowing you to create real physical distance between you, your phone, and its distractions. This tool isn't just an app blocker that you can turn off whenever you fancy a doom scroll. It's a physical card that I leave in my kitchen. That means it's away from my workspace and my bed, which are the two places that I'm most prone to scrolling. I've already seen a massive drop off in screen time. And as you've probably seen, my comprehension and my concentration have massively improved. It's just one of the tools that I'm using in my efforts to become a genius. Under this video, you'll find a link that gets you a free card with your membership, and I think you should give it a go.
I'm overtly very confident.
You know he's getting smarter, right?
What do you mean?
I think by this point we had him running scared. It was all coming together. You know, I was in a flow state. And Joe's bright, but he's not going to beat a prepared man. You know, wake up, eat well, study, exercise, study, eat well, exercise, rest well. I was living like a genius.
You know, Steve was a teacher.
He was every bit as intense.
Did a lot of nasty things, but he was good to some people.
Remarkably focused person I've ever met in my life.
Today, we're living like Steve Jobs. It's the 6 AM wake up again, followed by some meditation and focus on whatever today's big task is. A quick water and caffeine stop, and then we're on to our first session of deep work. Then it's breakfast time. Low sugar, no hassle, then into the office. It's now wall-to-wall meetings for 3 hours for Steve. I use this time to get my next few projects in order and to work on my fluid reasoning testing. Lunch is light, but it's filled with exercise and loads of social time with the rest of the team. After that, we're in the lab, working on new projects and asking loads and loads of questions of the team. The afternoon is then topped off with some admin and practicing some keynote speeches. Finally, it's time to head home, spend some time with loved ones, and reflect on the day. The main thing I took away from this routine was intention. It was quite straightforward to action, but I'm making a YouTube video, and Steve was running $1 trillion corporation. So it's widely believed that aerobic exercise will positively impact your recall and your processing speed. But it doesn't just improve memory, it increases our capacity to learn. So guess what we're up to today? Both Messi and Jobs incorporated some sort of exercise into their routines. But as someone that already runs regularly, I wasn't really expecting a massive change to my results. To test that, I took memory recall tests before and after my morning run, just to see if it had any effect. And I think the results will surprise you. I've just done my post-run IQ tests. My scores were both more consistent and at a higher tick, which is really interesting and supports the research that we've done on this video already. So that's one to consider for test day. So I've only got one more day of prep left to go. And of course, in the spirit of this video, I was going to do it like a genius. And there's one very, very famous genius that I just had to leave until last. It's 9 AM. Albert wakes naturally, rested, unhurried. Work isn't even a factor at this time of the day. Instead, a newspaper. Once caught up on the news, he takes a stroll, something that he really valued. By 11, he's made it to his desk. This is the time that he spends going through some letters and continuing with his work. At 1 o'clock, a brief nap. There are stories of him holding an old spoon over a plate, just to make sure that he couldn't fall into too deep a sleep. But most of these stories have been committed to legend. By the mid-afternoon, he's back to work, greeting visitors, going through papers, and just finishing off the odd jobs from the morning. After a stroll home, by about 6:30, he has some dinner. And then he retires back to his desk for more work. You see, Einstein was a night owl, so most of his work got done after dark. This differed to my own routine rather a lot. I'm a morning person. That said, I work later than usual. But I knew that I had a big day coming up, and I needed to get some rest.
If a coach say I miss practice and y'all hear it, then that's that.
Sometimes it can be really scary
It can be one practice.
to find out exactly where you are.
Out of all the practices this year, that's enough.
This is a silly little video about an IQ test.
It ain't about that.
You know, it was never about that.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
You know, I was a reasonably bright kid, an A grade student that got B's.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice.
I vividly remember a practice paper being tossed back at me because I got a B.
Not a game. We talking about practice.
The scowl of a teacher that looks down at you, offended that you're even there.
Not the game that I go out there and die for.
But that's the game, I suppose.
Not the game.
So if I have to practice for a silly little test,
It's strange to me too, but we talking about practice, man.
it's just a little you.
We're not even talking about the game, the actual game.
And maybe I get to prove them wrong.
When it matters, we talking about practice.
So the big day arrived, and frankly, I didn't feel great, which was completely my fault. I wasn't planning on running today. I need a little shakeout. During both of these YouTube challenges, I've relied pretty heavily on running to kind of clear my head. But this one felt like a bridge too far.
Very nervous about this afternoon.
I'm weirdly nervous about today. Not only had I fallen short of the 132 mark on all of my practice tests, but that morning I'd scored by far the worst of any of the tests that I'd done so far. Like, I haven't had a lot of time to work on this week, and I really don't think I've tried hard enough. That little outlier there was 8 hours before my final exam. And I'm just afraid of looking silly at the end of it. You know, I'd gone for a few drinks with my mates the night before the exam. It was just a little bit of light fun. And I'd thrown it all away. I hope I get a 3-figure score. So it turns out I was right to be worried. I mean, the exam room itself was just a classroom. There were maybe 10 of us in that room, of all ages, all strangers, with no discernible reason for being there.
I think this is all just building up for next year's second attempt.
You might be right. Then this very charismatic little old fella comes out, explains the rules, and lets us know how the test's going to run. What do you reckon you get?
I think anything above like 115 isn't bad.
The test itself was unlike any paper I've ever seen. In fact, it was split into 2 papers. One for verbal reasoning, and the second was purely puzzles. There were like 8 sections per paper, but it wasn't like you could just storm ahead and do them all. They only allowed you to complete 1 section at a time. You're in there for more than 2 hours, and in some sections you've got to answer like 20 questions in maybe a couple of minutes.
Just 2 guys with 70 IQs hanging out in a car. We are a disgrace to the grammar school system.
Oh, fun.
So now all we can do is wait 3 weeks for our results.
You got 150?
You haven't checked yours, you might have it.
Oh, jog on! That is terrible news.
Disaster. Joe's in the top 1% of people in the world. Comfortably. He's been invited into Mensa. So can you become a genius in 7 days? 7 days of practice papers, eating well, exercising, challenging yourself to learn something new. I had my results. And well,
Still won't get in! No!
I got a 124. It's top 7%.